Yesterday, the Blood family began our war versus the DNA family or clan or alliance inside of Call of Dragons, and this is the primary bridge battle that went down for the majority of this war. I was able to participate, and I'm happy to report that I did fairly well in this. I'll probably let you know merits or something towards the end of the video. We'll have to see. But this is where a lot of the battles went down. What is the reason for this war? Why are we participating in a war with only just 2 days left in season 1, which we need to prepare next for season 2. That video will be coming here tomorrow. But the reason for this is to fine-tune our combat tactics, to earn merits so we can spend merits in the merit shop as well, to make sure that we're ready to go when it's time for actual war. Now, another thing is the Dragon family, the Blood family. All season long, we were head-to-head versus one another. They defeated us in the first and second pass openings, and we defeated them in the third. It was a lot of fun along the way, and we were able to keep a nice synergy, friendship between them. Of course, you war inside of this game, right? Inside of the game, you're going to be fighting over territory, over land, and just kind of making sure that your alliance gets access to parts of the map that you want. As I'm sharing this is about an hour long's worth of footage, and it looks like I'm still waiting for my my spot to hop in. Now, the reason here that we're doing this again is to keep up on tactics, but also think about it like this. Call of Dragons right now is a fight versus fight of people inside of the server. But at some point in time, we're anticipating that there's going to be a server versus server mode. What that means is everyone on our server, server 32, may verse someone else on another server. Now, the reason why this is important that you have good alliances with people inside of your server, even if they're competing alliances, and that you keep up on your tactics as we're doing right here is, we may have to fight together at some point in time. There will be a day when we need to participate with the Dragon family to defend and to fight for our server, to be one of the #1 servers inside of the game. So doing these types of things right now are really important, and honestly, it's for fun as well. I've been farming for about 2 weeks inside of the game, gathering, doing behemoths, going after darklings, and all that type of in-game type stuff as well. So when it's opportunity to actually fight a little bit, it's cool as well. Now, you're wondering maybe, why is Echo staying so far back? Well, remember, I'm fighting tier 5s, and I'm tier 4 right now. Now, we have a full march, I think 110,000 mages in our march, but I can't get too close into the battle. There are moments in this where I was able to hop in and get some good merits. I think throughout this entire bridge battle, I was able to pull in 15,000 merits, which for me is insane compared to the last wars that lasted for 3, 4, 5 days where I would pull in 30,000 merits. This one bridge battle here, after refreshing troops a few times going back home, I pulled in about 15,000, maybe even a little bit more merits on that. So for me, it was really nice that I was able to kind of work on my tactics. Let's go ahead right here and fast forward a little bit through some of this battle so I can see maybe where I get in here. All right, so we're still sitting back right there. Looks like they're pushing, and I'm trying to get in. What I need to do is when they start to push over the bridge, I need to start picking away at the people in front. I can't get too far behind or too far in front, because if I do, then I start being targeted. And if I'm getting targeted by archers or mages tier 5, specifically archers, I'm gonna take a lot of damage, and it's just gonna hurt. And I'm gonna have to just consistently refresh my troops because I'm gonna have troops being injured. Let's fast forward through a little bit more what this battle looks like. And again, there were times that when I would get a little bit low, I would come back, I would go home and come back and get more troops and refresh. So I'm just trying to find a spot where I was actually in some good action. Now everyone's refreshing, everyone's kind of getting themselves ready right here, and struggling to find where I am. All right, we got some good action going on right here, whether I'm in it or not. So DNA trying to push the bridge, and us over here, the Blood family, also trying to push the bridge. Now is a good opportunity for me to step up and to start throwing my magic damage, my area of effect, my splash damage into these enemies, right? When they're crossing in a pinch point inside of a map, that's a great spot for mages to go in because you'll get the splash damage against multiple people that are trying to cross. You're not just attacking one person. And if I look at my battle reports, it shows that I was able to really just dive in and get damage to a lot of people. Let's see if I can pull up my damage report right here for you really quickly. I have it right here. Check it out. This is just from that battle, just from the bridge. I was able to pull in 7,700 merits, 2,200, 3,200, 5,000, 7,000, and 3,500 merits. Like I said, just from that bridge battle, this was all just within 45 minutes to an hour time. And as you can see, I was being very careful with how I engaged. I wasn't just diving in and jumping into these battles. I was making sure that the time was right. And it seems that the time still has not been right because I'm still just sitting back there being a sitting duck. The good thing is, though, when I was doing this, I was actually at my son's baseball game playing from the bleachers. So I was able to participate in the game, Call of Dragons. And I was able to participate in being there for my son, which is part of the reason why these mobile things are fantastic. All right, I'm going to just zip through because this is like, we're 18 minutes into the fight. All right, now we're getting into some action that I want you guys to see. All right, I found my poking point right now. They're starting to clog up. I was getting a little bit antsy. I stepped up and I started throwing damage. Check it out. My Lilith, she's in the battle right now. She's getting splash damage. And this was the first battle where I think I pulled in 3,500 merits. Now, anytime that my army got kind of light and maybe went down to like, what was it? Half of my army, I would back out of the battle, I would head back home, refresh my troops, and come back to the battle. Now, the cool thing this time around, I learned my lesson is, I was very close. I was right here. I was about a 45-second march away. I made sure I checked on my march. Now, notice I'm being targeted right here, so I'm going to probably notice some damage being done since I'm being targeted by one of them. But I won that battle, so it worked out really nicely. Now, you're probably wondering, who won this battle? Who was able to defeat the other team? And again, this was for fun. But at the end of the day, the Blood family was able to hold down the bridge. DNA, from what I was seeing, was backing off, and the bridge was won by the Blood family, which is really cool. Where our tactics are still there, our abilities are still there, and the cool thing about this game is, remember, when people join a server and start for the first time, you get people in there that are super strong, right? They're really strong and they're gonna spend money to get as big as they can get. Then people start to catch up over time, even free to play. Now look at this, I'm returning home right now. I'm gonna refresh my troops and do all that. So let's get into another battle where we're back. We're gonna come back over here, check on all that. Now the battle's back and we're pushing across again. Now the cool thing about as servers progress, you have your instant tier 5 players, where in the first month, they're going to spend a ton of money, get tier 5, and they are going to dominate the battles. It's just how it works. But over time, I'm probably a mid spender, around $700 spend. Mid spenders like myself are going to be able to catch up. Now, I'm not at tier 5, but I'm working on tier 4.5 right now, which really can engage me in more effective battles. And free-to-play players are going to have opportunities to catch up as well, which is really nice also. So as time goes on and progresses, the power gap evens out between clans and between alliances and between players. And your first month inside of a server is not going to look the same as what your team and what your power looks like the first year. Remember, someone with 200 million power, they're not going to have as much advantage over you as you think if you have 75 million power. Now, of course, they have advantage. They have more troops, but you're still going to be able to put together at least one or two solid armies behind solid heroes with solid tier 5 troops at that level. They may have more of them, but you can have the armies and the troops and the levels that you need to participate and to be active in these wars and to really be effective, which is really, really cool. I highly advocate for doing these types of things inside of the game because, one, it's fun, brings people together, works on your tactics, gives you merit rewards, and teaches you how to battle for when it's time to actually battle. You can't not know how to do this, and then a real war comes, and you're like, well, I'm going to figure it out now. Doesn't work well that way. You will not see success. This is my 4th war, this one being a friendly war, and I'm finally really figuring out how I could play an effective role with the troops and the armies that I have. This was a ton of fun. Now, keep in mind, inside of the game, there is an event going on that I'm going to highlight probably tomorrow. Gain 1.5 million power in the next 7 days, and you will be getting a nice skin for your castle. Make sure you're participating in that. More details on that one to come, but I hope you enjoyed this video and the highlight of the war the friendly war between the Blood and the Dragon family. It was fun for me, hope it was fun for you, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.